The Lord definitely, through my prayer, has shown me and given me so much peace that this is where I'm supposed to be. I want to serve Him in what I'm doing. This is a field of mission for a lot of people, and to hold fast through competition, through getting competitive, like we hold witness to the Lord if you're a Christian, and to hold on to having self-control through our actions and words and how we play.
Welcome, everybody, to the Homeschool Show from North Carolinians for Home Education. I'm Amanda Wayers, your host, and with me, as always, is Melanie Willis, the amazing co-host. All right, Melanie, what do we have for today? So today we are going to listen to two interviews that you had. One where you sat down with David Morris, who is a former athletic director, and he has written a book called Student Athletes Control Your Own Destiny. And he's going to kind of give us a talk on the benefits of sports for students. And then you also met with Holly Edwards, who is a homeschool graduate, and she now is a freshman and plays volleyball at Carson Newman University. So now we're going to be able to get the flip side of that conversation and see what it's like from the student's perspective. Then I will do a really small art project that's super cute but fast that you can do with your students, and we'll listen to some homeschool news. Sounds great. Well, let's check out those interviews. So I have with me today David Morris, and he has a really unique perspective on being a student athlete. So I'm super excited for this conversation. Hey, David, how are you?
I'm doing fine, Amanda. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to talk to you.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Would you please just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your experience with sports and students?
Okay, so my name is David Morris. I live in Jamestown, Rhode Island. I actually was born here and have lived here most of my life, although I started my education career down in Georgia outside of Atlanta. But I just retired from a 45-year career in education as far as being a teacher and a coach at the high school level, and then being a coach and athletic administrator and academic advisor at the college level. So I've had a lot of experience in different positions and different roles. And then 3 years ago, after I retired, although I had been thinking about it for a while before that, I decided to write a book about student athlete success, which is called Student Athletes Control Your Own Destiny. And the book was finished last spring and was released in the summer. And I just have always been passionate about student athletes and working with them individually as a coach and teacher and academic advisor. So I really wanted to try to develop a guide and a handbook that would be really beneficial to student athletes and parents and coaches and even athletic administrators to get students to understand what some of the most important things are to be successful at the high school level. And then if they're interested in playing further on in college, at the college levels.
I love that. That's amazing. And so I love the idea of your book because, I've had some student athletes and it is a little bit challenging. Like, I was not an athlete myself. My husband was not an athlete. And so navigating being a student athlete in high school or headed to college can be really challenging. So I think your book would be super helpful in that regard. And we will definitely link everybody to your website and to the book in the show notes.
Okay.
We also have some great blog posts that David has sent us, and we'll link those in the show notes. They are
Definitely.
just a wonderful resource for all of you student athletes or parents or coaches out there, athletic directors, whatever. I wanted to ask you, Dave, what have you seen in your career, being an educator, being a coach, all those things? How have you seen sports benefit these students? What benefits do you see?
Well, I mean, it obviously is hopefully going to be fun and a great experience for students. But I think the biggest thing is even when I was in high school and college and I was working in the recreation department in my small town here in Rhode Island and started working with students and kids in the summer programs regarding sports, you could just see how it could really help them to develop as an overall person as far as socially, mentally, emotionally,
Mhm.
physically, in every area. And once again, sports should be fun. Sometimes,
Yeah.
unfortunately, some people get too serious about it, and sometimes coaches, and sometimes there could be, issues that are involved with that. But for the most part, it should be a really fun, great experience. Sports are I've just loved sports and it was the best career that I've gone into, and I just think it has so many benefits to help young people especially.
I love that. I love that you are so passionate and had this whole career, and now you're still wanting to, pour out and help other students, student athletes succeed. I think that's wonderful. Now,
Thank you.
would you like to talk about your offer to our student athletes?
No, I would definitely like to talk about that. Once again, kind of from a marketing perspective, I have to admit for the book, but also what I felt like could be very beneficial to homeschooled students,
Mhm.
although most of it is very important for any student athlete, no matter where they are.
Mhm.
I also have recently, besides the book, I've decided that I wanted to set up some like advising services that could go along with the book. If a homeschool student, purchased a copy of one of the books, whether it was a paperback or the hard copy version, or even the ebook, that
Oh,
I would give a free 30 session on advising to talk to the students and parents or both of them at the same time to discuss a plan really for what they want to do and how they want to be successful in high school and maybe potentially to play at the college level and so forth. And
yeah.
then the first free session would just be in general to try to help them and kind of relate the book to how it could help them. But then also, if they wanted to continue with some sessions after that, that we could focus on some, specific things as far as like academic tools or, what are some of the biggest challenges to do both academics and athletics at the high
Yeah.
school, college level. If they wanted to talk about any of the topics that are in the book, we could set up separate sessions. And they're going to be very reasonable. I'm not trying to make a lot of money on it. And they'll probably be between 25 and $35 for a half hour, 45 minutes or whatever.
Awesome. That is so great. And I feel like it could really benefit a lot of our student athletes out there, parents, and just families in general. So I love that. Thank you so much.
No, you're welcome.
Do you have anything else you wanted to share? Look
Yeah, and
forward
you
to that.
mentioned before the blogs and the articles. I think they can be very, very helpful. So I really appreciate you being receptive to those and being willing to post those online. And I think families should be very interested in reading those articles. But thank you very much. And I'll look forward to hopefully working with you more in the future.
All right. Thank you. I have with me today a young friend of mine that I've known for several years. So, hi, Holly.
Hi, how are you?
I am doing well. So, will you please just introduce yourself for our watchers and listeners?
Yes, I am Holly Edwards. I am from Thomasville, North Carolina. I'm currently a freshman at Carson Newman University. I'm a nursing major and I'm on the beach volleyball team here.
That's so awesome. Now, I think I know this, you were not homeschooled like all your school life, right?
No, ma'am, I wasn't.
Were you for high school?
Yes, so I was homeschooled in 8th grade because that's when COVID hit. And then I went
Oh, yeah.
back to high school in 9th grade and realized that I like it being there so much. So then I decided to be homeschooled from 10th to 12th grade.
There you go. Okay. I thought I knew that, but I wasn't exactly sure of the
No, you're
details.
good.
So very cool. Very cool. And did you play sports the whole time that you were being homeschooled, or were you already an athlete, or how did that
Yeah,
look?
so throughout middle school, I played softball, basketball, and volleyball through my school, and then I played club volleyball, indoor
Mhm.
volleyball through a club in Winston-Salem. And then in high school, I
Mhm.
decided to just focus on beach volleyball and played indoor volleyball
Mhm.
through school.
Okay. That's awesome. And so I think this is super fun because I've had kids that were athletes, and I love the athletes that I know, the young athletes that I know. Super fun. So, when you were being an athlete and a student, obviously, how do you think that being an athlete benefited you, maybe as a student or just as a person?
It has benefited me in so many ways. One of the biggest ones I've realized is my time management because
Mm.
I had so much time to make my schedule. I could work when I wanted to work and make my schedule. I could schedule my trainings to where I want to schedule them, even during the day when other people might have been at school. And also, I could do
Yeah.
school and get it done in probably 3 days of the week or do it like
Yes.
that. So it taught me a lot of time management. And coming into college, I
Hmm.
really needed that because there's so much work to do and so many commitments you have to do and not a lot of time to do it. So you don't have time to sit around and do nothing.
Hmm.
Another way that homeschooling and athletics have benefited me is playing sports. I have taken on that role of individual achievement as well as team achievement. So it's
Yeah.
translated to my schooling that I have wanted to achieve high grades and I wanted to be a person of integrity and hardworking in my school as well as my athletics. And then another thing that has me
Mm.
is that I have met so many people through being homeschooled. Not only you, but through I played at the Greensboro volleyball team, and I've met so many people that I wouldn't be
Mhm.
around because we all live probably an hour away from each other. So that's been really fun.
Yeah, that's so
Yeah.
cool. That's so cool. I love it. You kind of talked about what it was like to be homeschooled and be an athlete at the same time. What about, so when it came time as you're, headed towards thinking about college, thinking about what you're going to do after high school, what was it like to the process of kind of deciding to be an athlete in college and that whole process? Like, were you recruited? Did you, you know,
Yeah.
send out video to coaches? What did you do? What was that
Yeah.
like?
So I've always thought about playing in college, but I didn't really know
Mhm.
until maybe my 10th grade year. And I thought, well, I might as
Mhm.
well try it, see what happens. I knew that it was going to be a big commitment. So I've been playing at this club called Beach South Volleyball. And one of their biggest things is to send people to go play in college. So that was kind of the community I was around.
Mm.
And I kind of knew that I wasn't done playing volleyball yet when I graduated high school.
Mhm.
So in my ninth grade year, I started playing at Beach South and going into my 10th grade year and playing in a lot of tournaments. And you would film at tournaments. And then on your way home that day or when you're home at any time, you go through that film and you kind of clip out your different highlight videos. And so
Yeah.
probably at the end of 10th grade year and then going into junior year, I was a little late. A lot of people start sending emails their freshman year, but
Oh,
I clipped a lot of videos together. I had a list of schools that I was interested in, um, and I sent them to a lot of coaches. A lot of coaches don't answer back, or a lot of coaches do answer back, and then you get on phone calls with them and you start to learn about, like, I like certain things about this program. I don't like certain things about this program. Or this school has
mhm.
my major, or this school doesn't have my major. So with Carson Newman, I toured it on a homeschool tournament, I was in Gatlinburg. And so I toured Carson Newman and Tusculum in the same day. And Carson
Mhm.
Newman, like, I just had this feeling, just everything was perfect about Carson Newman. And this was in 10th grade. So this was the start of the journey. And then in 11th
Mhm.
grade, we'd go to tournaments in Florida, tour some Florida schools, big schools, small schools, like all these different kinds of schools. And I just realized that Carson Newman was the one for me. I really like the Christian aspect here and the values they
Mhm.
uphold. And then they allowed me to do nursing. So that was a big thing because a lot of schools, if you play a sport, they might not let you do certain majors.
Oh,
Yeah, so
okay.
to answer your question more specifically, I just emailed a lot of coaches and I talked to my personal coach about it to hear what he had to say on, maybe this school
Mhm.
isn't really that um good or wouldn't serve you personally or different things like that.
Yeah. Yeah. That is so neat. And so once you got to college, have you felt like you were prepared for what, the whole student athlete experience? Or is there any maybe advice that you could share with if there's some other student athletes out there that are interested in playing in college? Any advice or anything that you've already learned so far?
I've learned so much, and I have so many things to say. So, to answer your first part of the question, I have been prepared in ways that at Beach South, we did a lot of hard lifts and we did a lot of hard conditioning, and that has
Mhm.
gotten me ready for this season of life in so many ways because we are doing different movements in the weight room than we used to do at club, but I
Okay.
feel a lot more prepared to go walk in the weight room and be confident in knowing that I know what's going on and I know how to handle myself in that situation. Lifts are
I love
definitely
that.
pushing me here. They train you hard here, and I
Oh,
have so much improvement to make, but I feel so much stronger than I have the first week versus now. So,
yeah.
Jeff, our strength coach, does a great job. And then volleyball ways, like, I've been prepared just practicing with all my friends, but I still have so much room to grow. It is a different
Mhm.
level here, and it kinda gets your tail into it, like, you gotta work hard, and you gotta stay with it, and you gotta put in more
Yeah.
extra than you ever have before. So, that's been really fun to
Mhm.
experience all the team and everything. And then academically wise,
Mhm.
I've been prepared because 'cause I've had hard classes, but I'm taking 17 credits, and this is a lot. So I'm taking microbiology and chemistry at the same time. So it's been really fun to do, and our school
Yeah.
has a lot of great resources to help out with. So but I'm just learning how to study and everything, but I really enjoy all my classes.
Mhm.
Some advice
That's
I
awesome.
would give is definitely train as hard as you can, but
Mhm.
also know that, like, it's okay to just rest as well as training. Because I think that a lot of the time in high school, there's a lot of pressure to just go, 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 and sometimes you need rest,
Mhm.
but also, like, put in the quality work because it's gonna prepare you to be here. And then also another piece of advice too is throughout recruiting, I think there's a lot of pressure to go to a big school or a
Mm.
a really popular school, but
Yeah.
sometimes those might not make you, A, they might not even have your major, but B, I hate to say that I don't wanna use the word happy, but they might not be the best fit for somebody. So for me
Yeah.
coming from a really small town, my fit is a small school in the country, but another fit might be
Mhm.
a school in Miami or something for somebody else. My advice would to be kind of think about what you are looking for in your values
Mhm.
and what you want your major to be. and then how you like the team, what the culture is like there, and
Oh, yes.
look in what your wants align with as well as the team, what the team is like and the school is like.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's great. I think you've said some really great words of wisdom, words of experience for homeschool kids that are athletes or wanting to pursue it in college or whatever. Do you have anything else you can think of?
It's definitely, I think, what the Lord has planned for your life. Not that I didn't expect to be here, but the Lord definitely, through my prayer, has shown me and given me so much peace that this is where I'm supposed to be. And throughout, like, nursing school's gonna be really hard. I start that next semester. And throughout that, I know that this is the Lord's, like, where He has me. I wanna serve Him, in what I'm doing. And really, like, this is a field of mission for a lot of people, and to hold fast to your through competition, through getting competitive, like, we hold witness to the Lord if you're a Christian, and to hold on to having self-control and through our actions and words and how we play, because a lot of people throughout tournaments are watching you, and we do hold a reputation. We could get labeled as, like, mean or rude versus, "Oh my gosh, she's really nice." So, yeah, and throughout traveling and
Yeah.
everything, I would definitely say talk about this at club all the time, but thank your parents a lot because they're the ones taking you everywhere and doing everything for you.
That's such good advice and good experience. And that's really why I wanted to have you and do an interview with an actual
Yeah.
student because, I mean, I have a coach that's I'm doing an interview with and other things like that, a parent. But the student experience I think is so good to hear from somebody that's like really been there and done
Yeah.
that. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right. So this was really fun for me. Both of these interviews, I did not know Mr. Morris before he had reached out and wanted to share about being a student athlete, but he was just a delight. He's so much fun and really has a passion for helping students, you know, do well in athletics, but also succeed in life. I thought that was really cool. And talking to Holly is just so much fun because I've known her for a number of years and it's just a joy to see homeschool graduates succeed doing what they love. It's just really a lot of fun. Absolutely. And I love seeing both perspectives. And I know for us, I had 6 kids and we did a lot of different sports stuff where we could. And mostly, they did upwards basketball and football and stuff like that. But it's a great outlet for the kids. And then it's just something really, they're not at home because they spend so much time at home as a homeschooler. I know we try to get out and do field trips and everything, but that's just something else that we can get out to do and get rid of some of that energy. And I do
Oh,
think that they
yes.
learn a whole lot about life by doing sports. So sports is just a wonderful thing for students to do. For sure. I always laughed when my oldest son, he played football for a number of years, and we're actually going to get to hear from him in our next episode. I'm super excited. But he used to, I could tell when it wasn't football season because he needed that outlet for sure, especially when he was younger to get that energy out yeah,
Absolutely.
it was necessary.
Absolutely. I look forward to
Very
hearing from
fun.
him.
I know. I'm excited. All right. How about some art? I love these projects so much because, as I've said multiple times, I do not consider myself to be artsy or good at any of this, but all of these are so doable. Like we could just, watch you and bring that right into our own homeschools. And I just love that.
Well, and hopefully you'll be able to do that because I don't consider myself an art person at all. And my mother is, but I got more of the musical side of things. So today we're going to be looking at making a little holiday ornament that is this little snowman here. And this was
So cute.
ridiculously fast and easy to make. Okay. So as you can see, we've got a little jute, and you could use all kinds of materials to make that, and a little bow. And I found this little miniature little bell to put here, and I'll show you where I got the greenery from here in just a moment. And then his top hat is actually made from a popsicle stick, and I'll show you a little bit more about that. So I started out with what I have is this little jute right here. Again, so many things you can do, and especially if you can find it that has the wax coating, that is wonderful because you just kind of mash it and it sticks together, so you don't have to do anything to get it to hold together. And I used this little toilet paper roll. We always need things to make with this, don't we? And I wrapped this around about 4 times, slid it right off, which won't happen easily right now, of course. Usually it comes off pretty quickly. And again, if you had the wax, just smash it together and it stays. What I did was I took a little bit extra and just kind of wrapped it through all the way around. And by the time that you get that through, it really kind of just holds its shape. I've got that little tail there, but you can just tie it in. Did on mine used one little dollop of hot glue and it stayed stuck. Then I did another little wrap around one of my paint bottles. So something a little bit smaller. You know, you could make these larger. You could make this be your small one and something bigger, a cup, be your bigger one if you wanted to make them bigger. But I did 4 wraps around my little black paint bottle and did the same thing to make this small hoop on top. And then I did hot glue them together right here in the middle. That was real easy peasy. Then I had just some standard ribbon, and I'm terrible at tying bows. It's not my thing. Can't tie bows. And my mom came in and she said, "Oh, that's such a cute bow. I can't tie bows." And I'm like, "I can't either." You know, you just kind of go with it. I made it.
Yeah.
Stuck it on there.
So cute.
And I do find it's easier. I don't take my ribbon off of here. I just go ahead and make the bow and then I can cut it appropriately. And then I actually had this pretty big piece of greenery from Hobby Lobby and just cut one of the smallest little things off of the top of it. And that's how, as you can see, it's just this little dip. And you could get anything that you wanted. I really had looked for some little bitty white something that I could stick out of there because I thought it would kind of give it a splash of color, but I couldn't find anything. I did find these little miniature bells. I was looking for just a silver bead when I found those, and the little silver bells were actually cheaper than the beads, so there you go.
Perfect.
And then I made his little top hat out of, these are pretty thin and narrow popsicle sticks. Okay. Now you can make anything work, but I simply found these little clippers in my husband's toolbox. I'm sure he's thrilled. And then I just cut the 2 different links, as you can see there, for his little top hat. Painted them black with this paint, and it dried almost instantly. You know, I see people on Facebook and TikTok and they got those little special dryers that they pay all that money for. And no, it dried in less than 5 minutes. Didn't need a special hairdryer. And I didn't even glue these 2 pieces together. I simply glued each one of them individually onto the top of my snowman. Super easy. Okay. And I did, of course, I made another little loop out of my jute, just glued it on there with hot glue to the back. Now, I used hot glue in this instance. You don't have to. You can use anything that you want. And when you're using this jute and this kind of stuff, it's real super easy to use Mod Podge. You know, if you get a little wet beforehand and wrap it, and it'll dry and just stay perfectly in place. If you don't have Mod Podge, have some regular Elmer's glue and mix some water in it, and you have Mod Podge. And it'll make it really firm and stay in place, and then you don't have to worry about wrapping it around real nice like I did. Although that worked really easy. Literally, to make both of those and get them in place took me less than a minute. So it doesn't take a ton of time. And that was it. My cute little snowman. And we've got the kids making them, and it is really fast. They actually didn't want to just make just one. They all made 3 or 4, and then slowly students would get up from the table. They were done with that attention span but I had a couple that stayed and made like 7 or 8. So it's really, you
Okay.
can decorate your whole tree in little snowmen.
That is adorable. It's so, again, I think I could do that now. I really do. So
It's pretty
that's
easy.
awesome. I love it. Perfect. All right. That is so fun. And all of you out there, I think you should make some snowmen too. That sounds fun. All right. Let's have some homeschool news.
Hi, this is Jeremy Willis with NCHE, and I'm here to bring you your homeschool news. We are very much looking forward to January and our NCHE Day at the Hornets, taking place on Saturday, January 24th. There will be a faith and family concert and youth specials such as Hornets Hoops Clinic and other fan experiences. Tickets for this would make great Christmas presents. Be sure to visit our website at nche.com/activities for more details. You will want to be on the lookout for our annual midwinter chess tournament and for a special field trip to Sullenberger Aviation Museum to take place in February. Information on both of these events will be coming to our website soon. December 1st will be the opening of the 2026 NCHE Scholarship Competition. Our scholarship program, which started in 1998, has awarded nearly $200,000 to graduates across the state. Details coming soon. Until next time, this is Jeremy Willis with your NCHE News. Have a great day.
I'm so excited. It feels like we are going full tilt towards the holidays. Here we are, the week before Thanksgiving. Next week, Melanie and I will both be celebrating Thanksgiving with our families, and we will not have an episode for you next week. I hope that you all will be celebrating with your loved ones as well. We want to wish you a very happy Thanksgiving. And tune back in with us on December 1st. We're going to be finishing this short series. We'll be doing our second episode about homeschooling and sports. And then the following week, we're going to talk about special needs, which is going to be great. So I hope that you all, as always, I remind you, please like, subscribe, share. Do you have a sports fan in your friend group, in your family that you could share with? Do you have people that may be new to homeschooling that don't really know about the sports opportunities that are out there? This might be fun for them to watch. Do you have people like me that are terrible at arts and crafts and they would love that art project? Share with them. And as always, if you have a comment, a question, anything you want to say to us, please send it to us at thehomeschoolshow@nche.com. And last but not least, keep homeschooling with confidence and joy. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Happy Thanksgiving.